We've got a great panel for you today, and we will be discussing the EarthHack Challenge. And just to remind everyone, that challenge is to combine, repurpose, or modify existing technologies and products to create tomorrow's practical and scalable low-carbon solutions for the home.
A lot of today's technologies that we think are rather good, and in many ways they are good, are actually way off where we could get them to if we sort of dared to think forward to the future. Yes, there are huge opportunities. We use energy appallingly inefficiently in the home, at almost every level, from the way we ventilate ineffectively, the way we insulate ineffectively, the way we light ineffectively. There are improvements in almost every step. The big challenge is that we live in houses which were built some time ago, and that will continue to be the case.
There are many, many examples of innovation designed to solve particular problems. Possibly the most important on a world scale, and the earliest one, is the synthesis of ammonia, driven by the need to artificially produce fertilizers, on which the lives of billions of people depend today. I was very, very pleased to be asked to be associated with EarthHack, and I believe that it will stimulate novel applications of existing technologies that will lower our energy bills, decrease carbon emissions, and if to end, I can be a bit pompous, ensure a better world for my grandchildren.
I've been involved in low carbon innovation for about 10 years now, and I think part of the ethos behind the EarthHack is really looking for unexpected innovation that wouldn't otherwise have been discovered, and in particular in the context of people's homes, where a lot of mundane activity goes on. People are just not really thinking about their home as a high-tech environment. I think there's a great opportunity to bring together thousands of people from the Marbler community to think through new ways of giving people in their homes ways of saving energy and reducing emissions. We've deliberately set the boundary conditions on the competition for ideas that could be realized in a year or less. And it's really trying to focus people's minds on solutions that deliver value to consumers, could be realized quite quickly, and also allow people from a broader range of backgrounds to participate. So we have lots of scientists and engineers, some of whom are very working directly in climate change technology, but there are lots of other people participating in the challenge from different backgrounds, coming up with really quite sort of out-of-the-box ideas.
I think what's often the big opportunity is discovering, appreciating that something, a solution to a problem that's in one area can be translated to another area.
By involving, if you can succeed in involving people in this prize, it will make them think about their behavior with relation to energy. I mean, a lot of small-scale renewables, putting a photovoltaics on your roof, in the UK, it probably doesn't make all that much sense, but it makes people energy conscious, and they start thinking about their use in other ways. And I think that, if you start people thinking about how to win this prize, they may not win the prize, but they will start thinking about how they use their energy and change their behavior, and maybe turn down the thermostat or do other things.
That, hey, you don't have to be a scientist or engineer to be thinking about these issues. And even if you don't win, even if you don't even submit an idea, we're hoping that you take a look at some of these existing ideas, comment on other people's ideas, vote for your favorites, and just leave the competition more informed about what some of these issues that are out there, some of these ideas that are out there, and some of the areas of the home that we could try and improve upon. And I know we'll be hearing quite a bit from Matt Stanley from IKEA, and hopefully Harry from Philips as well, about how we can make these ideas scalable, how we what somebody like IKEA is looking for to deploy these ideas in their stores and online, to get these to the many people, because that's where it's going to make the biggest impact. And that was also very important for us at Marbler, as well as at Climate Group, to work with such innovative partners who really, really care about doing this.
Now, if I look at one of the disruptions that we talked about earlier, actually, is LED technology. And 85% more energy efficient than traditional incandescents. And rapidly becoming affordable. By 2016, IKEA will only have LED technology within our range. All of our other lighting technology will be phased out over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. And that has a major impact on every one of our consumers that chooses to shop for their lighting needs, and the ability for then us to support customers to drive their energy efficiency at home. We're looking for affordable solutions at the end of the day. We are a company that stands for the many people. The vision of IKEA is to create a better everyday life for the many people, and that's all around, we need volume and we need scale in order to do that. But affordability is paramount to making that happen. Scalability is the second bit. And when we look at markets, we look at a global reach. And so finding solutions that apply within a region or within a city are not that interesting to IKEA in the grand scheme of things unless they can be scaled to a global platform. We want to find, I think it was Chris's or Richard's comment, simple solutions. These are solutions that can be readily adopted without a PhD in physics to be able to install in their home or understand how it is to be used. This needs to be accessible, and it needs to be affordable, and it needs to be simple. And I think the fourth dimension for us is it needs to be sustainable. These solutions that we're trying to design need to solve an issue, and whether that's energy efficiency or whether that's water purification or whether that's clean air or whether that's building insulation, we want to find an issue, and many issues that our customers are facing at home, specifically within the built environment, that we can address through finding scalable solutions.
We perhaps spend too much time sort of paying tribute to the sort of grand upstream breakthroughs in science, and just fail to get across just how important it is to get those connections to the real world, and the simpler the better. So whenever I see that happening, and there are good activities in Cambridge which do get the student body acquainted with this, I see tremendous appetite, tremendous recognition of what the issue is. So yeah, I see that as a big opportunity where we could do better.
Well, we're in a kind of paradoxical situation at the moment, in that, I think as other speakers have mentioned, global greenhouse gas emissions continue to rise. Last year was the highest year ever. We are way past, we're past 400 parts per million CO2 in the atmosphere, which was a threshold that not long ago people said that it was the point that thou shalt not pass. At the same time, however, we know that we have about 3/4 of the technology that we need already, maybe not being deployed appropriately, that we need, the technology we need to get on a sustainable emissions path by 2020. Most of it's in use somewhere, the policies are in place somewhere, the ideas are there, and it's innovation not only about new technologies, and this is where Marlborough and some of the other work that we're doing is really interesting. It's looking at how can we take what exists already and deploy it much more smartly. Because I think it was Sir Chris earlier, or Sir Chris or Richard earlier said, yes, we've got these scenarios of a 20% reduction and a 20% increase in emissions depending on whether you look at what exists or what might exist. I would argue that actually if we take what we have already, we can get to the reduction trajectory by being smarter about how we use it, where we use it, and when we use it. And this is where innovation challenges like this one, I think, have a huge part to play. Innovation across, as I say, not only technology, but business models, understanding uses, and that requires collaboration across sectors and between people who wouldn't necessarily have been involved in the past. So breaking out of the traditional innovation thing or sphere into new ways. And I think this is why this is very exciting for the Climate Group.
In terms of some of the technology areas that I'm personally interested in, and also my company is interested in, and the building industry as a whole is interested in, is there are probably three areas I see: web and digital technology, and slightly related to that, the idea of smart systems. And I say smart systems for simple people, and I can explain a bit more about that. And the third area is probably I like in terms of energy efficiency is really the idea of passive components. So to kind of cut through those, I mean, buildings are often the last place for innovation. They're not, buildings are relatively cheap, they're large scale, so you don't tend to see the high-tech materials or technologies applied there first, and they're in higher value areas. So things like web and digital technology, which has broken through in a lot of other spheres, I think has a big role to play. What the web's really good at is answering very complex questions very quickly and very simply. I think that in terms of trying to work out and diagnose as a consumer where your problems are with your building, and where's your energy going, how much energy are you using, is it a lot, is it a little, how can you fix it? I mean, that's quite a tricky question. And actually using web and digital technology, combining sensors, big data, sharing platforms, open data sources from governments and other areas, and all in the sort of framework of a kind of consumer-friendly application, I think is, that's a really exciting area where you can take the digital world and put it into the physical building world.
For us, it's simple solutions, but intellectually robust and actually kind of well designed. Priority one. One of the things that, as a consumer, you will continue to consume. I would like to find ways that you can reduce that amount of consumption going and the volume of material going into your house. But one of the things that, once it is in your house, effectively sorting that and bringing it into multiple different waste streams that we can actually capture in the most efficient way, such that you can repurpose those materials or products, is something that we are actively looking at. How do you enable customers to actually effectively sort their waste in the most environmentally friendly and sustainable way?
Thinking through the business opportunity that underpins your ideas is going to be very important, and also a great opportunity for innovation. And really excited to see some interesting ways of getting some of these solutions into customers' hands. I think it's where IKEA and Philips can really help because they spend all their time thinking about customers and driving their needs. And I'm very excited by the potential for another Azuri to come out of this challenge. And I should mention that the company I work for, IP Group, invested in Azuri. We think it's a very exciting company. So any more of those, we'll definitely look at making an investment in them.
Actually, there's been quite a few ideas. I think last count we've had over 140 or so different product ideas that have come through on how we could, reimagine existing technology towards the home. And Robert and Will have been very active on quite a few of those. And I want people to know who are watching, who have submitted, who have not submitted. Nearly all or I should say, every single one of the ideas are being reviewed by the judges. And overwhelmingly, you're getting feedback on all of your ideas, to know, are they feasible, or some advice on what we would need to do to move them forward. And I know Harry from Philips and Matt from IKEA are also looking at all the ideas. So if you're looking for, to share them, please do. But some of the few that have caught Robert's eye and Will's eye and my eye lately, I wanted to talk about right now. One of them, and Robert and Will, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. To begin with, it was about evaporative cooling via fabric wicking to be used in developing countries. On top of just the $12,000 cash prize, you're going to get a great trip to New York to meet with some world leaders and to check out quite a few of the events around Climate Week New York.
Thinking big, we'd like someone to come up with something that not only saves 1 million tons of carbon, which is what the EarthX Challenge is all about, but also something that's scalable by IKEA, by others. So 1 million tons is just the starting point to 10 million, 100 million, and so on and so forth. But also, as importantly, is to show people that everybody can get involved in this. Yeah. It's not waiting for somebody in a very fancy laboratory somewhere to come up with the answer that's going to solve all the problems. That's what some politicians may be hoping will happen. But the reality of it is we've all got a role to play, and it can be a very exciting role. And we can all do our bit and come up with those solutions, not only for climate change, but for good living in the future.